Hey everyone, Brian here from Vintage Classic Specialist. Happy Saturday to everyone. Time for another episode of Day in the Life of Vintage Classic Specialist. This is going to be a relatively short one because came in at, I actually got in at 10. It's about 2:30 right now. I'm leaving. I'm going to try and start working a little less on Saturdays. Been working full days on Saturdays, trying to make up for some lost time over the holidays. Lost time equals lost income when you're a small business owner. But I think it's time for me to stop burning the candle at both ends. So I'll probably try and get back to coming in Saturdays, most Saturdays at least, and leaving by 1 or 2. But anyway, so Saturday episodes will go back to being a little bit shorter. So as far as today is concerned, ran this morning and picked up some parts so that I could actually start putting the suspension back together here on the Spider Bug, which is what I call it now. It's kind of appropriate, right? It's red, like Spider-Man is mostly red at least, or partially red. And this car is home to many spiders. Well, it was. So at least under the front of this car now, I went with our shop vac and got rid of all those brown widow eggs and daddy long legs, and there were just spiders all over this thing. It's relatively spider free now, at least the area where I'm working up here, and spider web free. So that is one tiny thing that I did, just kind of at the end of the day. But as far as putting the car back together, it is coming right along. So you can see I went ahead and got the new adjustable beam on it, which, as I mentioned yesterday, it's only like an inch overall narrower than the beam that was on it. And so a couple things. One is I don't think he's going to be able to run the car much lower, at least not with the wheels and tires he has now. I'll come back to that. But I guess the good news is that since it's only about an inch narrower than the previous narrow beam he had on there, I'll probably be able to reuse his tie rods, so save him $100 or so versus buying some narrow tie rods. He actually has kind of cool, I assume that these are made to be lightweight aluminum tie rods, and they are in fact pretty light. So I am not 100% sure, but I think since it's basically ½ inch per side on the car, and so then if you take into account the two sides of the tie rod ends, you really kind of only need to screw each end in like a 1/4 inch to make up for the narrowing of the beam of this one relative to what it came off. So we might be okay. I do have the tap where I can cut this down a little bit and then tap deeper into it if I need to. So I think we're going to be okay with his tie rods here. And but anyway, so today, the beam itself went on, and then I went ahead and assembled the trailing arms onto it with new seals, and then put the spindles on, and that's about as far as I made it today. One thing I forgot is his ball joints actually all felt really good. Like, I didn't feel any play in them at all. However, pretty much all of them, the boots on them were trash. So I did go ahead and buy new ball joint boots and installed those, and kind of like packed some more grease into the ball joints best I could. So yeah, again, just trying to be budget conscious for this guy. And that was a good opportunity. Instead of what I've done in the past, is exchange these arms with Brian Washburn, who takes the arms and puts new German ball joints in them, and then powder coats the assemblies, and then does them on an exchange basis. So basically on these, I just cleaned them up, painted them, put new boots on them, and we're calling it good. So save him quite a bit of money there doing that, and I don't think I'm doing any less of a quality job here, because again, the ball joints feel fine. They feel great, actually. The new ones are really stiff, and so until they break in, the car actually can feel a little stiff and stuff like that, and the steering effort can be pretty hard. So these are broken in and felt great, so we're gonna use them anyway. So that is about what I did on here is get the beam itself in, the arms, and the spindles. So I suppose probably Monday when I come in, I'll start putting on the rotor. So I need to put the bearing races in those, pack bearings, which is one of my least favorite things to do, is pack bearings, and put those on. And then still need to disconnect the stock drums and drain the brake system of fluid, and then install the new master cylinder, which is right there, already painted and ready to go. So yeah, I'm hoping to get this car back together like Monday maybe. I'm gonna probably more or less finish it up on Monday if all goes well, and get it back to him, you know, maybe midweek or so. One thing that I will try and do when I'm in here is, this is his horn wire, which was just not connected to anything and just flopping around in there. So I will check out his horn circuit and see what's going on with that. I doubt it's going to be as simple as just connecting this wire to the ground lug here, but I'll at least check it out, see what's going on with that. I do like cars to have horns when they leave the shop if possible. Another thing is that other beam, if you saw yesterday's episode, you know that other beam was bent very severely, and so sort of from here out it was sitting actually like this. And so what that did was, and I don't know that I don't think I showed this on the video, because I think yesterday the thing was already disassembled, but that puts the steering box at a weird angle. So a steering box was sitting kind of like this, and then the steering shaft is, you know, of course, wanting to go straight like this. So the coupler that was in there was doing a lot of work, kind of absorbing, for lack of a better word, that angle difference between the steering box input shaft and the steering rod itself. Plus, the whole assembly was throwing this off, where it was like way over, pretty much like rubbing one side of this steering column tube. And I'm wondering if that's why they had the horn disconnected, is if the steering shaft was just rubbing on here and grounding and making the horn beep all the time, or, you know, like at random times during turning. So I'm hoping that now that I've got this centered really well back in here, that maybe the horn system will be working. I did, of course, when I put the beam on, figured out exactly where the steering box was going to go, what angle it was going to sit at, and then marked the beam itself where that sort of footprint was, removed the steering box, and then went in and ground paint off the beam. And the paint was already removed from the mating surface on the steering box, so got that on, and then took a ohm meter and made sure that we were getting a ground at the steering box here. So yeah, just a little detail like that. If you want a horn on a Volkswagen to work, the steering box pretty much has to be grounded. And so I think a lot of people might miss that detail when they say put a new front end in or a new steering box. They forget to remove paint or powder coating from things, and then they wonder why they can't get their horn to work. Well, just take the steering box where it sits on the front beam, and then the front beam where the steering box sits, just take it down to bare metal. I mean, you can touch up the paint around it a little bit if you need to, if you go too far. But yeah, if the steering box is not grounded, you're pretty much not going to get your horn to work. So a little tip for you. But yeah, I'm very happy now with the alignment here and everything. Put in new lock plates on the steering, went ahead and put in a new coupler, because even though his coupler looked fine, that angle that it was operating at, I feel like would probably fatigue the steering coupler a lot over time, just because it was having to flex so much. So I went ahead and put a new one in. They're cheap. Put in new hardware. And I think that is about it, guys. So like I said, kind of a short episode today, but I will be back Monday, so never fear, and we'll see you guys then. Thanks for watching.